Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. You might notice I'm dressed a little spiffy today. Sports coat over a t-shirt, what could that mean? Obviously, Game Awards time, because that is what everyone wears to the Game Awards, apparently. It's in fact on Bruce and Lauren's drinking game. Sports coat over a t-shirt, that's a shot. So if they watch this, that's a shot, boys. But no, it is that time of the year again where Jeff Keighley comes from on high to tell us what are the best video games of that particular year, and this year's 2024. I gotta say, I was going through them, making my picks of what I think is going to win. Stay tuned for next week for my personal top 10 video games of the year, but we're gonna go through each category of the Game Awards, minus esports stuff. I don't watch esports. I have no idea about esports. If I were to pick anything out of the esports thing, it would be a total guess. So I'm not even going to do it. So just minus the esports stuff, all video games, because that's what I know about. At least I think I know about here. But yeah, let's get on to these categories and let's get this done a lot quicker than what they're going to get the Game Awards done through. And which I thought about streaming it on Thursday night. I still might. I don't think I will. But I might just be playing Indiana Jones instead and having it on one of my monitors so I can keep tabs on it. But I will do a recap of what I thought of the Game Awards coming maybe Friday morning. We'll see if I get it done. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into these categories. First up is the Player's Voice Award. Not to be confused with the Player's Choice. No. This is more important. This is their voice. Our nominees are Black Myth Wukong, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree. Now that's DLC, that's not an actual game. I don't care how long it is. Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero. Those last two I feel were put in there to trip up whoever is announcing this as little tongue teasers. Well, I think since this is a Player's Pick award, I think this is going to go to Black Myth Wukong. Over the summer, that's all anyone could talk about. A lot of the people who like to stick it to Western developers really pointed to this one as a good single-player campaign of a game. I personally have not played it. In fact, I haven't played any of the games on this list. I almost downloaded Genshin Impact the other day, but I was like, that was a mobile game. I'm not touching that. So I have no stake in this matter. But everyone and their grandmother was talking about Black Myth Wukong. So something being picked by the players, I feel is definitely going to be Black Myth Wukong. So Black Myth Wukong, you win. Also, when I do my recap of the show, I'm coming back to these, see how many I got right. It'll be awesome if I get them all right. Most anticipated game of the year. Don't even know why we're doing it. I'll read you the nominees, but Grand Theft Auto 6 is winning this award. But our nominees are Death Stranding 2, which I'm excited for. Ghost of Yotei, I'm excited for. Grand Theft Auto 6. Honestly, as much as I love the Red Dead games, I'm not that big into Grand Theft Auto. I generally play them and try them out, but they never hook me. I don't know what it is about those games because I play plenty of other open world games that I stick to the story and get stuff done along with side quests. But for whatever reason, this particular game just never hooks me. So I'm least excited for this one. Metroid Prime 4, I'm excited for that. Monster Hunter Wilds, don't care. I tried a Monster Hunter game out. I can't get down with that control scheme. And so I've just never been a Monster Hunter fan. But Grand Theft Auto is winning this one. If you want to bet the farm on the Game Awards, because I'm sure someone's taking bets, this is the category where you'll win. Hands down. Doesn't even matter the odds. You'll win. Next up, Best Multiplayer Game. This one's actually kind of tricky. It could go either way, but I think I got it nailed down. So Best Multiplayer Game, our nominees are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. My personal pick out of this group would be Warhammer. Loving the hell out of that game. But what I think is going to win, again, a game everyone was talking about in the spring to the summer, Helldivers 2. That was the belle of the ball for online multiplayer this year, I think. And I think that one's going to win Best Multiplayer. Now we're on to Best Sports / Racing. And I added a second part to this nomination. How the fuck is NCAA football 2024 not on this list? Like, seriously, we've got 3 2K games, 2 EA games. So apparently EA didn't give Jeff Keighley enough money to get NHL or NCAA to 24 on this list. Because quite seriously, that was maybe the most anticipated game of this year. As soon as it was confirmed it was coming back this year, the internet exploded. Like, I might not be that in tune to everybody in gaming or in sports, but I've got an ear to both. And good Lord, that's all Twitter talked about from the moment it got announced to almost the moment it got released was NCAA 24. That would have won if it was on this list. As far as the games on this list, I've heard no one but Austin Evans talk about any F1 game ever, so no. EA Sports FC 25, maybe. Soccer's really popular, but I don't hear anybody talking about that. Like the FIFA games people talked about. I haven't really heard much about FC. The only thing I hear about NBA 2K25 is the microtransactions. I've never heard anybody say it's great. In fact, the people who I know who play these games hate this version. Topspin 2K25, only person I've heard talk about it is Spawnwave, and he simply keeps saying that he's waiting for a price drop to pick it up. And then we have my personal favorite on this list, WWE 2K24. And just because I've heard plenty of people talk about this one, I'm going to go with this one. This category needs to be thrown out since NCAA is not on it. Not that I think NCAA 24 is the be-all, end-all sports game, but as far as sports games that no one could shut up about this year, it was that game, and the fact that it's not even nominated is a travesty, and I don't get it, but I'm picking WWE 2K24 to win for no other reason other than I like that game more than the other games on this list. Next up, Best Sim Strategy Game. We have Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. Very fun game, mind you. Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I think Age of Mythology is going to win this one. It's a throwback. It's a classic strategy game, and people were really excited when it got announced. So I think this one's going to win. Kunitsu Gami, my personal favorite off this list, and could be the dark horse to win it because it's just a beautiful looking game. So I wouldn't be surprised if it won, but I think Age of Mythology, being the classic RTS, is going to win this one. Next up, Best Family Game. We've got Astrobot, which is nominated for Game of the Year, which might mean it might win this category, but I don't think it will. Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. I think this one's going to go to Super Mario Party Jamboree because when you think family games, you think games that everyone gathers around and play together. That is definitely this game. And also, Jeff's got to throw Nintendo a bone so they'll drop some trailers or do something with his shows. So for those two reasons, I think Super Mario Party Jamboree is winning this one. Next up, Best Fighting Game. We've got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiverses, that's the WB game, Tekken 8. If this was any other year, I'd be picking Dragon Ball Sparking Zero to win this one just because of all the Dragon Ball Z fans out there. A lot of people are super hyped for this game to come out, but come on, it's got to be Marvel vs. Capcom, right? Maybe the most popular fighting game of all time is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, at least the most desired one. So this one's got to win. I don't think there's any other way it doesn't win. Even though it is a collection of older games, I think this one wins. All right, next up we have Best RPG, Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Entry, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Now, there are several Game of the Year nominees on this list, but I think the game that everyone thought would be a Game of the Year nominee but got snubbed is going to win this category because they got to throw them a bone, and I think it's going to be Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, taking it home for Best RPG. Next up, Best Action Adventure Game. Astrobot, again, a Game of the Year nominee. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Silent Hill 2, a Game of the Year nominee snub, according to a lot of people. Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I think, again, even with a Game of the Year nominee on here, I think a game that a lot of people felt was snubbed in Silent Hill 2 is going to win this category. So I think Silent Hill 2 takes home Best Action Adventure Game. Next up, Best Action Game, we got Black Myth Wukong, Game of the Year nominee. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2. My pick for this, if I was choosing the winner, would be Warhammer Space Marines 2. But I'm not on the panel. I think this is one of those ones where a Game of the Year nominee actually wins in one of these subcategories. So I think it's going to be Black Myth Wukong. But I would not be surprised if Warhammer or Stellar Blade actually won this award. But I think it's going to be Black Myth Wukong because, again, it was the game everyone was talking about this summer. Next up, Best VR AR game. We have Arizona Sunshine Remake, which is really cool, but I don't think... I didn't even know it came out. I saw the trailer for its announcement, and I never even saw a release. So that makes you think Josh ain't picking that one. Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadows, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metroid Awakening. I kind of want to lead to Metroid Awakening, but I think Batman Arkham Shadow is going to take it. Everyone's been talking about this. Everyone's saying it's like the best VR game ever, so it would not surprise me at all if this game won. Next up, Best Mobile Game, AFK Journey, Balatro, which is a Game of the Year nominee, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Withering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. Again, man, tongue twisters with those last two. Even though Balatro is a Game of the Year nominee, I think it's going to go to Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket because all those Pokemon fans are nuts for this game. So many people are talking about this. I'm not big into trading card games, so even though I like Pokemon, I downloaded it, I opened a couple packs, and I was like, I'm not doing anything with this, and then deleted it. But this has really been blowing up lately, and a lot of times when you blow up right before a big award show, you tend to sway the panel, so I think this one's going to win it. Best Debut Indie Game, Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire. I think Balatro, the Game of the Year nominee, is going to win this one as well. Best Independent Game, a lot of the same games from the previous list on here. We have Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. That's actually a cool name. I'm going to find that game and play it just based off that name. Neva, and UFO 50. Balatro is going to win this one. Game of the Year nominee, independent games, it's got to win it. Best Community Support. So hopefully this gets explained at the Game Awards, but I guess this is the one that has like the most rabid fan base online. We have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. You know, I had highlighted the pick Helldivers 2 for this one because, again, everyone loved it over the summer. I'm not picking Fortnite. But I think they're going to throw a bone to Square Enix with Final Fantasy 14. They nominated 7. I don't think 7 is going to win, but I think 14 takes this one home. And that brings us to Best Ongoing Game, Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. I said throw a bone to Final Fantasy 14, and I picked them to win Best Ongoing Game. But, I don't know, Bungie just laid off a bunch of people. You know what? I think Microsoft needs a win here. I'm going to change my vote on this one. I think it's going to be Diablo 4 because, again, Jeff Keighley needs to throw a bone to Microsoft because there's a lot of Sony shit on here. And if he wants to build this even bigger, he's got to get all the big three, backing him. So they've got to get a win every once in a while. So Diablo 4, Blizzard, Xbox. Games for Impact. No idea what that means. But our nominees are Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Sensuna's Saga Hellblade 2, Tales of Kenzara Zao, Closer the Distance. Closer the Distance. That doesn't make any grammatical sense. I think Sensuna's Saga Hellblade 2 is going to win this one. Just the voices in your head, because I think Impact maybe leaves a lasting impact on you, something like that. The voices in your head, the psychedelic nature of the gameplay for this game, I think that's why Sensuna Saga Hellblade 2 will win Games for Impact. Innovation in accessibility. Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Star Wars Outlaws. I have no idea what the accessibilities in either of these any of these games are, so I don't know in my opinion, who is the most accessible. But I think Dragon Age Veilguard, given some of the controversy that game has gotten this year and its inclusion and diversity in the game, I think they're going to include that in accessibility. So I think because of that, I think Dragon Age the Veilguard will win this award. Again, I don't know what the accessibility options are for any of these games, so I can't pick based on that. I'm just going to guess Dragon Age Veilguard isn't nominated for a lot, and if I know award shows, they like to get that inclusionary win for something in there. And since this isn't nominated for a bunch, I think this is where Dragon Age Veilguard wins. Because it's a win for Dragon Age Veilguard, they can promote it, but also it's not that big of a win to where people are going to get pissed off. So knife safe win there for Veilguard. Best performance, we have Brianna White, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Hannah Telley, Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Humberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws. Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2. And Milena Jurgensen, even though it's a J, but I'm assuming she's of Nordic descent given the game. So Jurgensen, not Jurgensen. Sensuna Saga, Hellblade 2. I think Milena Jurgensen is going to win this award. Just, again, based off of the story, the setting, and everything that goes on with this game. Her performance is pretty awesome. And no offense to anybody else nominated, it's not as lasting and sticks with you like Hellblade 2 does. So that's why I'm picking Milena Jurgensen to win this award. Best audio design, Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Sensuna Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I think with all the voices and the psychedelic trippiness of Hellblade 2 is why it's going to win Best Audio, just because everything that goes on while you're playing the game, I think, gives it the edge. But I'm not an audiophile, so I'm not the best person to pick this award. But again, just the trippiness, the psychedelic nature of the story, I think, gives it the best audio design. My second place would go to Silent Hill for similar reasons. All right, best score and music, Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade. It's got to be Final Fantasy VII, right? I mean, the Final Fantasy games historically always have the best music. Final Fantasy VII is no different. Great score for that game. I don't know the scores for all the games, so it's kind of hard to pick, but I'm going to go with a tried and true for this one with Final Fantasy VII. Best art direction, Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Metaphor ReFantazio, and Neva or Neva. I think it's got to be Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. Just the creepy, Germanic, old world Europe art style of this game. I think it blows away all the other art styles, art direction of the other games. It's just a really cool looking game. Whether you like a DLC being in this or not, super cool. I dig it. All right, best narrative. Final Fantasy VII, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Sensuna Saga, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. Originally, I had picked Sensuna Saga, but I noticed they're winning a lot here. And I don't think they're going to win this many. So I think I think Metaphor, since this is Game of the Year nominee, and it has not won yet, according to my picks, I think that's going to actually win the award for Best Narrative. Because I know a lot of people like the story and everything about it. I haven't played the game, so I can't really judge the story in that game. I've played most of these games, so actually. My personal pick out of the games I've played would have been Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. But I love the Like a Dragon game, so I'm a bit biased. But I think it's going to be Metaphor winning Best Narrative. Best Adaptation, we have Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. It's got to be Arcane, right? I mean, everyone seems to love that show. I haven't watched it yet. Nothing to do with anything that has to do with the show. I don't play the game it's based on, and I just haven't had a want to watch it. I've watched Fallout. I loved it. Out of the stuff here, I'd pick Fallout. Knuckles is hilarious. Like a Dragon, Yakuza was okay. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, I haven't watched that yet. I heard a lot of bad things about it, so even though I like Tomb Raider, I haven't checked it out yet. But I think Arcane, because that seems to get universal praise from everybody. So let's go with Arcane for the win on that one. Best game direction: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII, and Metaphor. So it's basically our Game of the Year nominees. So my thought is, because it's like when you think about the Oscars, a lot of time Best Director and Best Picture are two different movies. So could that be with the Game of the Year awards? Because honestly, even though I watch like recaps of this every year, I never remember who wins because it's so subjective, and it's rarely ever a game that I truly love to. So it's one of those things. I think this one is going to go to Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is going to win Best Game Direction. And then Game of the Year, I want to say, like, I haven't even picked this one yet. Doing this one live on air. Not live on air because we're not live. I'm doing it live in front of the camera. No edits, no cuts, no nothing. Game of the Year, Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Everything in me wants to say Elden Ring is going to win this. It's just, it feels set up that way because they made a big deal about DLC being included this year and all that mess. And so you would think because they tried to soften the blow early on that it's just to make us accept the DLC as the win. But, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it's going to be an upset. I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to win Game of the Year. Me personally with Final Fantasy VII, I haven't finished it yet. I bought it on launch. I'm about halfway through, but it hasn't gripped me like the first chapter of the remake did. And I'm just kind of playing some side missions, playing some of the game. I'm just like, it's okay. But I'm not really wholly invested in it yet. So maybe you get that later on in the game, but I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because of that particular scene, I think it pulls up the upset this year and wins Game of the Year. Mark it down. Me, who has no say and no inside knowledge of any of this, is picking that one to win. And I think it might. I think that one might win. But so there we go. Happy Game Awards Day, everybody. Those are my picks for the nominees this year. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. And if you're watching this after the Game Awards, tell me how wrong I was or how right I was. Maybe I was super right. Like I said, I'm coming back to this and I'm gonna see how many of them I got right in the end, and we'll see how good I am at predicting the Game Awards. Maybe I'll put some money down on it because one of the sports betting sites have got to have this right. There's got to be gambling involved, and this is gambling and everything. I'm not actually going to bet. I don't gamble, but there's got to be, right? So let me know if you're gambling on the Game Awards. Definitely let me know if you're doing that and what your picks are. I definitely want to hear from you. But don't forget to leave a like if you liked what you saw here. Give me a subscribe. And thank you for coming and checking out this video. You have a great day and enjoy the Game Awards, man. Take care. Bye now.